Food inflation rising to 30% in May 2022. You've asked the question, where is the food? And why would a policy which in 2020 was seen by the IEA as a contributing factor to a declining inflation in 2022 be seen as contributing to inflation? This morning, we're joined by the Minister who'll be telling us the status of planting for food and jobs. Dr. Owusu, Akoto, good morning again, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
There we have it. This was a program that you expected, everyone expected, to help deal with our food needs. After 5 years of implementation, we're faced with a rising food inflation. But 2 years ago, the IEA, for instance, Dr. Kwache, was full of praise for the planting for food and jobs. What has happened to it?
Planting for food and jobs is still going very strong, and I'll give you the latest statistics. The government statistician, when he came 2 months ago with the final figures for Ghana's growth in 2021, the GDP growth, it was a very surprising figure. 5.4% in 2021, the economy grew. The Ministry of Finance itself had been using a figure of 4.4. So the 1% increase to 5.4 was a great surprise. And what was the source of this? Agriculture. Agriculture sector grew 8.4%. And what was leading this in agriculture with subsector? Crops went up by 8.9%, nearly 9%, which had never been achieved for many years in Ghana's agricultural history. So the fundamentals are strong, and what has happened to food prices is more to do with externalities rather than within the agricultural sector itself. Because if in 1 year you get crops growing at 8.9% and driving the GDP of the country up to 5.4%, you cannot say that the policy has failed. It's an evidence of the success of the program, that in spite of all what is happening in the world with COVID, with what is happening to us, with the European war and all that, planting for food and jobs is still very strong. And I've just come back from an 8-day grueling visit to 5 regions in the forest region. All the observations we made were very clear that planting for food and jobs is strong. It's facing problems which is outside the remit of this country or any other country. It's a global program of shortage of fertilizer, inorganic fertilizer, rising fuel prices. Oil prices have moved from $50 to now at $120, and we are a net importer of fuel, of oil, and therefore transport costs have gone up 3-4 times. But when it comes to the actual fundamentals on the farm, agriculture is doing well thanks to planting for food and jobs. And I brought some very interesting statistics from the field. I want to share with you and your viewers, and then we can go on with the conversation.
Okay.
A medium bucket of tomatoes bought at Techimentia market for 50 cedis sold for 200 cedis in Kumasi markets. Tomatoes. A bag of pepper bought at 250 cedis at Techimentia sold between 400 to 600 cedis in Kumasi market, which is amazing considering the fact that Techimentia is only about 1.5-2 hours drive from Kumasi. And this is reflected in all the markets. So yes, food prices are high, but it does not mean that the program on farm has failed. It's more to do with prices outside the remit of this country or any other country. So what is happening globally. And don't forget, I'm the chairman of ECOWAS Ministers of Agriculture, because our head of state is the chairman of ECOWAS. I've had 2 Zoom meetings with my colleagues in ECOWAS. Their situations are far worse than we are in Ghana.
Now, talking about prices in Techimantia and that of Kumasi.
Yes.
I mean, as part of the motivating tools under Planting for Food and Jobs, was to provide complementary services such as extension services and marketing of outputs.
Right.
So you're supposed to help in marketing these outputs.
Yes.
Now, you talked about as part of your functions, you talked about the building of warehouses.
That's right.
So you're expected to keep this. The National Food Buffer Stock Company is also there. So if today people are producing at 250 and selling at in Kumasi at 400 Ghana cedis, how are you able to help in achieving this complementary service?
See, you have to understand the role of government. The role of government is not to be a player in the activities. It's to create the environment to facilitate the activities. And for that, government is doing two things. We're building warehouses. We have built 81,000 metric ton warehouses over the last 4 years, which have now been handed over to me. And these are spread all over the country. Two, we are creating institutions to take care of what you are concerned about. As we speak, this week, I have piloted through Cabinet a memorandum for the creation of a Grains Development Authority. That has been approved by Cabinet. I've been working with the Attorney General to prepare a bill for Parliament. That bill is now ready to go to Parliament. I expect the Attorney General to submit this bill to the Speaker of Parliament this week. And we are hoping that before the end of this meeting of Parliament, it will pass into an act of Parliament, becomes law. We are preparing to create the authority with the personnel and all those things to start the program. The President wants this authority to start trading with the coming harvest, which is just around the corner. For the major season, we start harvesting in the next 3 or 4 weeks. For the minor season, that will come later on in August, September, October, and the northern sector, which is just about to start planting. So we are very vigorously preparing, creating the institutions, building the fiscal infrastructure. That's all we can do as a government. So we've been very proactive with the challenges. To be honest, let's face it, 2017, April 18th, when the President launched Planting for Food and Jobs in Goso in the Hafo region, whoever anticipated that there will be a global pandemic, and never mind a European war which is going to disrupt global trade, the global economy, and everybody is suffering from it. So it is timely. It's as if we knew that something like this was going to happen. And as I speak to you, a delegation is coming, the latest delegation is coming from Sierra Leone to come and study Planting for Food and Jobs so that they could adopt it in their own countries. And we have visitors coming from all over to come and see the wonders of Planting for Food and Jobs. So we shouldn't denigrate ourselves when outside world is appreciating policies which are working for. We counted 35,000 bags of maize. And the tarpaulins, the traders saying they're looking for people to buy. We went to the Nkuranza market, 20,000, 10 different markets. The 3 that we were able to go to, the others we send our directors of agriculture in those areas to report back to us. If you put it together, you're talking about 27,000 metric tons of maize as we speak. And this is harvest from last year. And don't forget, we are going to enter the new market, the new harvest in the next 3 or 4 weeks, as I said. So fundamentally, the food is there. And as I've quoted Techimantia stuff, is the prices which are up in the urban areas, and it's because of the rising price of fuel and the other factors which have nothing to do with on-farm activities. If anything, the shortage of fertilizers and chemicals around the world is making chemicals very expensive. So the cost of production on farm has gone up.
Dr. Akoto, I note that the increase in price from farm to market, I can understand why perhaps the explanation offered by government would be external factors. But when it comes to the scarcity of the product,
Scarcity.
yes.
There's no scarcity. That's what I'm saying.
So today, if you go and buy a ball of kinky, first of all, apart from the fact that the size is reduced, the price has also been increased. Meanwhile, you are counting thousands of bags under tarpaulin in markets.
Yes.
So if indeed there is an excess of production, what is breaking the chain between that production and the supply and creating?
Well, it's the transport. It's the transporters.
So the cost of fuel.
We should be asking the transporters this question, not me. I'm the Minister for Food and Agriculture. I'm not the Minister for Trade.
I understand
internal
that.
trade or external trade.
I understand.
So you have to be fair with me.
Of course.
I'm saying that physically there's 27,000 metric tons of maize as we speak from the last season in two regions, Bono East and Ashanti.
So it's because of the cost of transporting it.
Yeah,
That's
and
why
I
they're
co-
stuck there.
Yeah, and I quoted
Exactly.
exactly.
And you make the point also that these farmers are looking for buyers.
Yes.
And earlier we talked about marketing their output. You've talked about what you intend to do. But currently, that marketing that you promised them, is it happening?
And I promised who?
As part of the Planting for Food and Jobs, you promised helping market these outputs as part of the motivation.
This is what I'm saying, that we are creating the infrastructure of warehousing and other market infrastructure. That's all government can do. We are not traders. We don't go in there and buy trucks and go and say that we are going to trade in maize as part of our careers. So as we speak, we are engaging the hauliers. The Minister of Transport, Honorable Esiama, last week had a meeting with the transport owners who are in charge of hauling food from the various positions. We gave him information as to where the stocks are of the various things around the country, and he's gone through with the various cooperatives or unions of transporters and had a series of meetings. This afternoon at noon today, we are meeting at Honorable Osafo Mafo's office to take further that discussion to see how best we can assist. And not only that, the key point is to do with the market queens and so on who control these stocks. Ultimately we have to engage them as well, so that between the three, the government, the transporters, and the queen mothers, we see how best, if we have to subsidize by giving the coupons to these operators as a way of subsidy of the soup to bring the price down, we will do it. But you see, nature is so good to us. We have had the best rains in 5 years as far as farming is concerned. So we expect a very good crop for the major season and also for the minor season in the forest belt. Okay, so as I said, the harvest is around the corner. We have closing stocks of 2021, substantial quantities. We haven't even gone into the northern sector where to look at their stocks and so on. We just took two regions, Ashanti region, Bono East, and the major markets there to go and count the amount of stocks there. And the stocks are there.
Talking about the stocks being there, you made reference to happenings of this year. The Russia-Ukraine war, its impact on fertilizer. Last year, farmers complained about late supply of fertilizer.
Yes.
You were in Parliament yourself. You complained about a lack of release of funds.
Yes.
And so, even before Russia-Ukraine, wouldn't we admit we had challenges with the release?
Oh, I'm the
and
first
supply
person.
of fertilizer?
I'm the first person to admit that. Why should I deny that? But these are the exigencies of the profession. I mean, you are doing the best you can. Yesterday or the day before, one of your colleagues came to interview me in the office, asking me to give myself percentages. The percentage I can give is the effort that I put in. I know for goodness sake, I put in 100 or even 110% in my effort. I cannot judge for myself what you think or any person would think about the thing.
But how do you assess your output? the final result.
That's what I'm saying. Planting for food and jobs. Without planting for food and jobs, I wouldn't be counting the 27,000 metric tons of maize at the end of the season in the two regions of Ashanti and Bono East. What other evidence do you want from me to say that the program has been successful? In many countries, they don't even have it. That's why they are trooping into Ghana to buy our stocks. And this is why, based on the pressures from the poultry farmers, we decided we will respond by saying that temporarily we stopped the exports of our grains. If our grains are not available, the stocks are not here, would they come? And these are vehicles coming from Kano in Nigeria, from Niger, from Burkina Faso, from around ECOWAS, Niger, Burkina Faso, Togo, Benin, Nigeria. They're all coming here.
How are they affording the fuel?
That one you have to ask them. I don't know. But I'm saying that what we are talking about is our own. I've quoted you figures from Techiman to Techiman Tia to Kumasi. 3 times the price. It's crazy.
But people from other countries are able to come and buy from us and go and sell.
It means that their prices for the retailer is much higher. I've seen a video in Nigeria where the market, they've gone up 4 or 5 times.
That's
and
because
the retailers
demand is there.
No, we also have demand.
So why are people not buying the maize?
No, but you have
stocks.
To the market? You see, you have stocks. You trade. At the end of the season, you still have stocks. If your supply systems are solid, you have stocks that you take into the new season and you keep trading. Your trading doesn't stop. People eat every day.
So I think this highlights the importance of that marketing role.
Definitely. This is why we are creating the Grain Development Authority, as I've said.
A study by CDD in 2020 revealed that even though farmers received seedlings, they received fertilizer, the marketing was missing. In fact, they couldn't find a trace of it. Does this mean that for the 5 years that Planting for Food and Jobs has been happening?
I'm sorry, when you say you can't find a trace of it, trace of what? Of marketing?
Marketing support.
What support?
Given to these
what kind of support do they need?
All the things you've said are about to be done.
No. I'm saying that warehouses are there. You see, this is the private sector. Government is not doesn't take part in those activities. We create the environment to facilitate the work of the private sector to deliver. So what else do we expect us to do?
You've outlined a few things that you are going to do.
No, that we are doing.
You are doing.
Yes. You see, Rome was not built in a day. You understand? These things happen, and as you respond to the challenges, you solve them as you go along. New situations arise. Constraints come at every stage. My job is to identify that constraint, remove it so that we could move to the next step. So it's a process, please.
But it sounds like the policy anticipated this, which is why the need for these marketing
absolutely.
services was described in the policy.
Yes.
But 5 years down the road, we're still implementing these things.
Of course.
What
we will be implementing them for 10 years. We have the constraints of finance. I have only a budget given to me by the Ministry of Finance to work with. My colleagues, every one of them has their own requirements. So these things, you cannot let it happen overnight, So gradually, we are getting there. We've never been able to produce so much food. And you go to the records to 1950 till now, you will see that suddenly there's been a jump on a higher platform. Maize. We've never, until we came into office, been able to produce more than 1.8 million metric tons. And don't forget, I was a ranking member for Food, Agriculture and Cocoa for 8 years in opposition in the parliament. So I know the statistics. Suddenly, last year, we produced 3.1 million metric tons. In my trade, within that short period, it's a huge achievement. And this is why these Nigerians could come and in Ghana, we talk about feed for livestock. We don't say that there's no food. So poultry farmers, last week, I went to Domahinkro, which is the poultry capital of this country, sat down with the farmers in a big hall for 2.5 hours, gave them the opportunity to vent their feelings and their constraints and their frustrations. And at the end of it, I was taking notes as a student in a lecture room. 8 major points. my experts, I asked this person, you answered this question, you answered that. And at the end of the day, everybody went away very happy, because then we understood ourselves that the blame that they were putting on government for the frustrations in the poultry industry is not rightly put. We need to really make sure that whatever poultry farmers were asking, I mean, they would say, oh, there's no maize in the system. So we are just coming from Bono East. You are in Bono, I'm just coming from Bono East. Go to Tachima market, go and buy it. But of course, oh, the price is too high. Yes, the price is high, because the cost of production of the maize on the farm has also gone up, because the fertilizers, which they used to pay 120 cedis per bag, they are now having to come up with 400 cedis. And the whole idea is that to sustain their production, you cannot say that the cost, you produce one thing at the cost of, say, 5 cedis per kilo, and then it goes to 10 cedis per kilo, because the chemicals and so on have gone up. And you're going to charge the same price? No, it doesn't work that way.
So you talk about how Planting for Food and Jobs has worked on the farms.
Yes.
But you know, the objectives of this policy, they extend beyond the farms. Even if we start from
it's the supply chain. You see.
Yes.
I mean, it's reflected in the markets. That's why I'm saying Techiman is a maize growing area, but it's the biggest market for maize in Ghana. Everybody has to, they say West Africa.
Yeah.
So everybody bring their produce there. So that's the market. If you have money, go and buy.
Well, that's one maize market, but of course we have several, crops that are affected by Planting for Food and Jobs. And the goal of this initiative, the first one, is to improve food security. So much as you may have seen achievement of one part of it, which is providing the fertilizer, providing the seeds, in spite of challenges like late releases of funds and so forth.
Exactly.
Even though you've achieved that, are you able to say you've achieved the goal if the country does not have food security?
Yeah, but the country has food security. There are 27,000 metric tons of maize alone. I mean, not to talk about plantain and so on. You go to Serioso, they will give you plantain for free on the roadside. Because of the cocoa rehabilitation program, they are having to plant a lot of plantain suckers to provide shade for the young cocoa seedlings, and all these are now maturing. And there's plenty of food around.
But free plantain in Serioso.
Yes.
That's news.
What I'm saying is that they can't even get people to buy, because it's a byproduct of the cocoa rehabilitation program. And now that is maturing, they are harvesting the plantains and so on. You go to Oti region, the yams are there. They are complaining about inaccessibility, that roads leading to the producing areas are very, very bad, and therefore some transporters refuse to go. So these are things that, so in terms of security,
you from achieving your goal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you see, it is a teamwork. My part of it is to make sure that food is there, and the food is there. I'm saying that anybody who says that there's shortage of food in Ghana, they don't know what they are talking about. I'm just coming from the last week. This time I was trudging away in the forest, talking to farmers, looking at the nature of the state of their cultivation and all those things. The food is there.
The National Food Buffer Stock Company,
yes,
was expected to buy from some of these farmers under Planting for Food and Jobs.
Well, I mean, yes.
And as part of it, so when we have these challenges, some releases can be made. It was supposed to feed schools, for instance. The question is, if the National Food Buffer Stock Company, and part of the reasons why we created or we wanted to establish warehouses, is doing that. Yes, there'll be a private element, but the state company, Food Buffer Stock, can also help in mitigating the rise in prices.
They are not suited for that kind of work because they are working on their balance sheet. This is why we are bringing in the Grains Development Authority, which will part of their functions will be to actually create a buffer stock. Buffer stock is to create a stock which will be there, will be rotated for quality purposes, but will not be touched until there's an emergency.
Yes.
That's the essence of buffer stock, not to feed school children. So this Grain Development Authority is going to take charge of all these things, these roles. It will be, it will look at quality, it will look at producer price, it will look at all kinds of things, standardization of markets. Now you go, they say it's 130 kilograms, a bag sitting there, areas 50 kilograms and so on. To standardize all these things and also to regulate the industry. Buffer Stock Company is a limited liability company. It's not a regulatory. It hasn't got the law to regulate the market. This is why we are bringing the Grain Development Authority, which is going to Parliament this week.
All right. So let's get to, you've talked about Techiman market, for instance. I just want to share with you, certain figures from Techiman. So if you look at, and this will be from last year, April, and this year, April, for instance, since we're talking about the prices. So this is data from Isoko. So when it comes to maize, 100 kilograms bag of maize in 2021 was costing 183 Ghana cedis by April. In April 2022, according to Isoko, that was costing 317 Ghana cedis.
Yes, prices have gone up, as I said. I don't deny that. Prices that, if you look at the graphs, and I still have some of my documents in the prices were falling 2017, 18, 19, 20 it started going up, 21 it went up, and 22 this year is gone even higher. And I'm explaining to you the reasons. It's very simple. Those days
in Techiman though, right?
Yeah.
Look, the scale is the same everywhere. I've mentioned Techiman here with the vegetables. You are mentioning maize.
Techiman with maize.
Yeah. You go to Tamale, the same story. You come to Accra, the same story. And I'm giving you the fundamental reason is to do with the fact that in those days, the price of oil on the world market was $50. Now it's $120. It went as high as $130. And we don't determine the price. We are price takers. The same thing for fertilizer. Urea used to cost $350, landed at the port of Tema 2 years ago. Now it's about $1,200. So these are facts of life.
All right, our guest this morning is the Minister for Food and Agriculture. Already a fascinating conversation. We're learning a lot as he shares some details and statistics from 5 regions that he visited over 8 days. And we're picking up what's happening with prices around the world. At some point, we'd love to take your questions as well. But when we come back, we'll learn even more from the Minister. Stay with us.
My first sin was sneaking into the fridge to sip on some Ideal milk.
My first telephone was 2 empty tins of Ideal milk connected by a long string.
My first taste of freedom was when I had 1 full tin of Ideal to myself in
Make more beautiful memories with Ideal milk as we celebrate our 50th anniversary. You can win a brand new car and other exciting prizes when you text the special code behind each Ideal original anniversary label. The more you buy and text, the better your chances. This advert is FDA approved.
Who's ready to pray? Who's ready to really pray? Stand in the Gap 2022. 48 hours non-stop prayer is here, ready and boiling. Prophet Gideon Danso is sounding an urgent call to all prayer addicts, warriors, and worshippers across the globe to gather at the Prayer Factory Owusu, Accra, Ghana. There's coming a deep roar of prayer and a fresh fall of fire. This you don't want to miss. On the front line with Prophet Gideon Danso are Reverend Ben Doku, Reverend Ampia Kofi, and of course, the prayer contrivance, Pastor John Hanna, USA. Worship will be lifted up with the sound of the trumpet by Pastor Nathaniel Bassi from Maverick City, Rhino Fair, and from this city, EWC Lab. Date and time, Thursday, 23rd June, 6 p.m. kickoff, and we will pray non-stop through to Saturday, 25th of June, 6 p.m. Venue, the Prayer Factory, Owusu, on the Obasanjo Road, next to the Allied Heights, Accra. For more info and live streaming, visit stand48.com. Stand in the Gap, 48 hours non-stop prayer. Refuse to leave the same. Empowerment Worship Center, where God lives.
Whatever it is, make it MasterCard. Switch to card for all your payments. Make it MasterCard when creating memories with those you love. Make it MasterCard when streaming your favorite music album or TV series. Make it MasterCard when doing your usual supermarket run, in-store or online. When filling up your tank for a thrilling road trip, make it MasterCard, the safe and convenient way to pay. MasterCard. Priceless.
Roverman Productions in partnership with National Theatre and Joy FM presents an Uncle White play, I Slept With Your Wife.
Honorable, I slept with your wife. Eh? Which wife?
Hey, how many do you have, Honorable?
Jesus! Venus! This man slept with you? Hey, my boss. You did this to me. It's okay. I won't say anything. I will not say anything.
Hey, Honorable! Honorable, please, don't do this, Honorable.
Father! Out of the way! Let me kill
I
him!
Slept With Your Wife shows at the National Theatre on June 25th and 26th and July 2nd and 3rd. Time 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Rates 100 Ghana cedis. Tickets are available at Joy FM, Shell Shops at Airport, East Legon, Dansuman and Tema Community 11, and also at Bachana and Hacho Total. Or WhatsApp 050-554-6030. Media partners Joy FM. This production is sponsored by Gino Tomato Mix, A&E Laboratory, TFHO, and
GHQR by Gibbs.
You can also purchase tickets via Korba short code *365 *535#. Roverman Productions. Be the difference.
I sat up as the pleasant aroma wafted through the cracks in the door and into my living space. Whatever it was, smelled heavenly. I felt my palates open up to receive this very welcome guest. I mean, I had to taste. And as I rolled it around in my mouth, I realized I just loved the texture. And just like that, it was down my throat and giving my body life. I wanted more. Lily Rice does that to me every single time. Thanks, baby, for cooking today.
You're welcome. And as we continue to enjoy our favorite rice, Lily reminds us to observe all COVID-19 safety protocols because COVID-19 is still around. Lily, tasty food, happy family.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hello and welcome to today's weather report. This morning,
have you updated your bank account records?
The weather is unusually chilly for this time of year with scattered thunderstorms.
But have you updated your bank account details?
Will you stop interrupting?
Will you go and update your bank account details?
From the 1st of July 2022, the Ghana card will be the only identification card that will be accepted in undertaking transactions at all banks. Update your bank account records with your Ghana card details at your respective banks. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Association of Banks.
Having your baby try out different tastes and flavors isn't just about giving them a change of taste. This helps to develop their palate and prepares them better for accepting varieties of adult food as they grow. So go ahead and try any of our 6 Cerelac variants, that is wheat, maize, rice, biscuity, fruit pieces, and millet. Remember, each bowl of Cerelac contains goodness that helps your child's normal growth and development. Cerelac, it's all good, Mum. This advert is FDA approved.
What would you do if you have the choice to do anything in life? Build your dream house, take very good care of your family, and plan for a comfortable retirement. Plan a befitting funeral for your loved ones when they depart. How would you live if you knew there was a friend waiting to support you on all of your life's choices?
You have such a friend in Glyco Life Insurance. Glyco Life has all the plans to meet your life's needs. Your child's education, your life savings, your mortgage, funerals, redundancy, and your retirement, and takes the burden off your shoulders. So go ahead and live life to the fullest today with Glyco Life Insurance plans. And remember that all our policies are hedged against inflation. Talk to Glyco Life on 0302 218 500 or 246 142. Also visit our website at www.glycolife.com or any of our branches nationwide for more information.
Glycolife, we cushion you for life.
Glyco, we cushion you for life.
Say donut, 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 donut. Hey, donut, 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 donut. Donut, donut. Then come cut up donut, donut, donut. Malaria syrup donut. Everybody follow nuts, malaria. A 3D till no nuts now. Malaria chill. Popo. What mean the I want you. Num lonat. Edabako. Num lonat. Edamienu. Num lonat. Edamiensa. Num lonat. No. Lonat scatter malaria. Lonat, it scatter malaria.
A quality product from Blaze GVS Pharma. Yenshishemu hu se malaria wa wumojam ansana wanum Lonat. Na nam yensearch na malaria no daso wo hwa ko hu dokota.
This advert is FDA approved.
Whatever it is, make it MasterCard. Switch to card for all your payments. Make it MasterCard when creating memories with those you love. Make it MasterCard when streaming your favorite music album or TV series. Make it MasterCard when doing your usual supermarket run, in-store or online. When filling up your tank for a thrilling road trip, make it MasterCard, the safe and convenient way to pay. MasterCard. Priceless.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn. You know buff, you know chop. Where it vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You not get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Haja, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selenium. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe, so say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! As my boss, Mr. Poncho, go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM. Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy. Our guest is the Agric Minister, Food and Agriculture Minister, Dr. Owusu Akoto. And we've already learned quite a lot. And it's a very interesting conversation. Recently he was asked by one of our colleagues to rank the Planting for Food and Jobs program. He said he ranked his own performance 100%. So he's been giving a rigorous defense for the work that he and his ministry have been doing. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it as well when we open the phone line shortly. But before all of that, Kingdom Books and Stationery wants you to remember you can go to their website, kingdomstoreonline.com, and buy whatever you want from them. Pay via Momo across all networks, and they will deliver to your home or office in good time. Of course, if you're in Accra or Tema, free delivery is available to you. Terms and conditions do apply. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
And the University of South Africa, UNISA, invites all prospective and currently registered students to an open day to be held on the 24th and 25th of June 2022 at the Fiesta Royale Hotel, George Walker Bush Highway, North Jolu, Accra. The UNISA Open Days aim to empower both current and prospective students to make informed decisions about undergraduate and postgraduate studies at UNISA. And UNISA staff from various colleges and departments will be present to advise students regarding the range of qualifications and support services available at the university. UNISA, the African University in the Service of Humanity. Visit unisa.ac.za for more information.
So we've been talking to the Minister for Food and Agriculture about planting for food and jobs. Now, I encourage you to go to their website, the ministry's website, read up about the policy for yourself. It's got some very interesting bullet points there for you to read and learn about the policy and its intentions and objectives and goals. Now, there are 5 modules under the policy. We've been talking about food crops, which is the one referred to as PFJ, Planting for Food and Jobs. But there are 4 others. There's planting for export and rural development. There's greenhouse technology villages. There's rearing for food and jobs. And then there is the agricultural mechanization services. And we'll get Dr. Afriyie Akoto to touch on those before he leaves. But I have a question, a money question, if you will. So far, how much would you say Ghana has spent on planting for food and jobs? And I suppose there have been some donor funds as well, so perhaps you can...
No, this is purely GOG funded program.
No donors at all.
Except the Canadians who came in with some vehicles, logistics for our extension offices. But I'm proud to say that Planting for Food and Jobs have been totally funded by the Ghanaian taxpayer.
Right.
The Ghanaian taxpayer's money has been to the tune of 2.6 billion Ghana cedis in the 5 years. And in fact, you will see that if you use the exchange rates at the time, we are talking about something like nearly $500 million US. So, going back into history on government expenditure, there's no government which has spent so much money on farmers than the Akufo-Addo government. That one I can say for certain. And it's had this magnificent impact. Regionally, the 5 northern savannah regions have benefited to the tune of 57% of this money has gone to these 5 regions. And they've delivered. Farmers in Ghana have actually delivered, I mean, by all statistical standards. And it's internationally acknowledged that this program has been a running success. And the only critics that you have are internal here in Ghana, who, whatever you do, obviously, they don't see the benefit. But it's really benefited Ghanaians. If you look at the amount of food generated by this investment, we are talking about something like the 2.9. We are talking about something like $50 billion worth of food. You take the quantities derived from what we spent, you put the market values on it at the farm gate in terms of prices and so on. You come to such a huge amount of benefits to Ghanaian farmers. The only difference is that, of course, the Ghanaian taxman has not benefited. In other words, the most of this trade is in the informal sector. So we actually account for everything. We know the amount of maize generated in the 5 years from this program, from the beneficiaries of this program, and then we put values on it. It's one of the best rate of return on capital you can make.
How do you come by that $50 billion value?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I want you to explain.
The quantity of, we know the beneficiaries, how much we've given them in terms of fertilizers and so on, the amount of quantity of food generated, and then the value, we put the price value on it, you come to these figures. In fact, from every year we do that. If you want the full figures, I don't have them here, I can send them to you. But the rate is so high that you invest 2.5 billion Ghana cedis, you are able to generate food worth that much.
Did you use the farm prices or the market prices?
We collect, and this is what amazes me when people challenge our figures. We are the only organization in this country who have permanent staff collecting data every day, both in markets and at the farm gate. And we just don't throw them away. We analyze them. It's an input to the government statisticians' work. So we work closely with the government statistician. We have a whole directorate of statistics, and we have statisticians highly qualified with master's degrees, some with PhD degrees, who are in the regions, they are at headquarters and so on. So we are a very professional organization. And when people take some of our data and they go and analyze and come up with some conclusions, we wonder, because we are the custodians of this information. And we do it professionally. It's not, with the sampling sizes and all those things, the acreages that we do every year, the yields that we estimate every year. There are people who go and take samples and actually harvest in these areas, weigh them and all that. It's very, very professional service that we are providing to the people of this country.
So again, was it the farm values that you used or the market values?
No, we used the farm values.
Right.
You see, because we are talking about valuing the worth of the work that the farmer has done. So you can't go and use Makola prices.
That's what I wanted to check.
You get a very distortionary.
Yes. That's what I wanted to check, because $50 billion.
Yes.
if we're saying that we have made $50 billion
to the farmers,
Ghanaian farmers,
yes,
in 5 years,
yes, exactly.
That's a lot.
Absolutely.
This
is why the
that's
government
about 400 billion cedis.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about 50 billion cedis.
Oh, not dollars.
Yes, cedis. No.
Right.
I'm saying that we invested 2.6 billion Ghana cedis.
Right.
And we've generated $50 billion worth of food.
Cedis, not dollars.
No.
Right.
Please.
Okay.
No.
Okay. That's important.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification.
And if you want the annual breakdown and all those figures, I can provide them to you. So, Isa, please.
Yes, please provide them so we look at it. Because
Yes.
I'm looking at the Statistics Research and Information Department.
Yes,
I'm looking at their documents, and I'm looking at the production over the period and the harvest and all of that, and hectares cultivated and all. So I'll be happy if you provide that, so we could use that to also do a bit of
No.
Let's stay with the money for a moment.
Yes.
Now, you were on record earlier this year when you were arguing for the e-levy, saying that if we don't implement that tax, fertilizer supply will suffer.
Yes.
So, I mean, you've still managed to get fertilizer to farmers.
I didn't anticipate the Ukraine war then.
Well, yes.
They've taken the wind out of ourselves.
Yeah,
now we don't even have the fertilizer.
Yes, and I was actually going to say, the question I was going to ask is, how much of an impact have delayed releases of funds had on the execution of this project?
I cannot actually put a figure on it, but I know, for instance, that the Ghanaian farmer is proving to be very versatile. Look, I was thinking, first of all, we thought we're not going to sit there and twiddle our hands because there's a fight somewhere else. So we're going to encourage our farmers to go into organic, because organic is all over. It's the waste that you and I produce every day. Zoomlion and others come and take them away, landfills and destroying environment and so on. And so we've been dealing with 18 companies which supply farmers with organic fertilizer as well. So if you are not getting the inorganic fertilizer, we might as well try and focus on organic fertilizer. But then my problem is farmers being very conservative. How are you going to convince them to switch to something that they are not familiar with? And, going to the field now, they didn't need any persuasion. When I got to Kumasi, the Zoomlion plant in Kumasi, the marketing manager opened his books. The orders are just going up and up and up. They can't meet the demand. So as we speak, they are investing in a second line in Kumasi. So the demand for organic fertilizer is shooting through the roof. And we are encouraging, we are supporting the producers, because before then, we used to give them a limited amount because of the inorganic fertilizer which farmers preferred. Now we've had to lift that allocation to whatever capacity limit, because we don't have the inorganic. So it's a very interesting trend that farmers are searching for fertilizers, organic fertilizer, if they are not getting the inorganic fertilizer, and nobody is persuading them. They see the opportunities that these higher price of food is giving them, and they are moving into it. And the interesting thing too that we found in Bono East and Bono is the fact that as part of their response to the shortage of inorganic fertilizer, they are now turning more to crops which do not need fertilizer, like the roots and tubers, plantain, yam, cassava, and so on. You can see the acreages as statistics that there's a shift as part of their response to the, So farmers are not sitting there. They are also taking advantage of new situations coming up. So it's not a question. When I hear people talk about shortage, look, the last 3 years, every time between April, May, June, July, there's talk of, Ghana, we are going to have shortage of food. And I sit there and I laugh. God has given us two different ecosystems. Okay. The savanna in the north, the forest in the middle of the country, and the sly, the southern savannah as well. So they're growing different crops at different times of the year. So we are lucky. Some other country, they don't have that luxury of different environmental situations for them to be able to adapt, switch to this and that. We do. And our farmers are really responding.
You know, you mentioned earlier that the food is there. But you also said that foreign buyers are coming to take them away. So if it's being taken away, it's not there, is it?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. If it wasn't there, they wouldn't come to take it away, would they?
Yeah, but once they take it away, though, we don't have access to it anymore.
But you see, trading, you trade. If you trade, you don't trade 5 months and then you fold your arms for another 7 months. No, it goes on all the time. It's reflected in your stocks. At the end of the season, you have low stocks, and that's why you have high prices around this time of the year. In another three months, nobody will be talking the way they are talking now, because the stocks will be going up, the harvest will be going up. So this is where we are.
All right, our guest is the Minister for Food and Agriculture, and of course you've listened to us interact with him all this time. It's your turn. I'm sure you have questions as well. So when we come back from these messages, we'll take your questions for the Great Minister. Stay with us.
GSE, the Ghana Stock Exchange, energized for growth. Join Ghana's preferred investment platform. Experience our 3 exciting markets customized to meet the scale of your idea or business. GSE Main Market, Ghana Alternative Market GAX, Ghana Fixed Income Market GIFM. The GSE provides a platform that helps you mobilize capital for your business to be in the right place. Speak to us or our licensed brokers and we will tell you how. GSE, the preferred platform for investment and raising long-term capital.
Mr. Bossman, with all these computers, servers, and electronic equipment, I know they see one cable for the floor crack.
Charlie, you be right too. We dey use raised access floors from interface, so all the cables they hide under the raised access floor. So
this be the solution to the plenty cables we in my computer room for office. Accountant, call interface now.
If you're involved in new property development, renovation, or decoration, the right place for you is Interface Limited. Call us on 0274 999999 or visit our website at
www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook, Interface Limited GH. Instagram, interface.limited.
It's Melcom craziest sale ever. Melcom, your one-stop shop, brings you the craziest sale ever. Activate your shopping mood now to enjoy huge discounts and mind-boggling crazy offers at any Melcom shop nationwide. It's the craziest sale ever. Terms and conditions apply. Melcom, where Ghana shops.
Hey, customer, so you are welcome.
Davy. Today I want beans with 30 cedis worth of fried plantain and just add little gario.
Hey, Kweku, now you are doing well, pal.
Oh, Davy, it's because of star 500 hash. Use your ATM money more, talk more, and browse more to win in the Airtel Tigo Tukumisu Reloaded promo.
Hey, so me also, I can win the Sika Bebre to upgrade this my go bed business.
Yes, Tukumisu promo is now reloaded and is bigger and better. Simply dial star 500 hash and meet your weekly AT money, calls, and data targets to win your share of the over 1 million Ghana cedis cash prizes up for grabs. Dial star 500 hash now.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
My first thing was sneaking into the fridge to sip on some Ideal Milk.
My first telephone was 2 empty tins of Ideal Milk connected by a long string.
My first taste of freedom was when I had 1 full tin of Ideal to myself in SH.
Make more beautiful memories with Ideal Milk as we celebrate our 50th anniversary. You can win a brand new car and other exciting prizes when you text the special code behind each Ideal original anniversary label. The more you buy and text, the better your chances. This advert is FDA approved.
Wow, I just paid my taxes right now. Since they started this pay from anywhere, it has become easier, cra.
Easy, cra. Now nobody has an excuse. So long journey, no ye jai. Tax, why? Effie, don't tell me you have not been paying taxes, oh.
No, I'm tired of paying. Don't be. It's the taxes we pay that government will use to improve the markets and to build the nation, oh.
I don't know. It just takes your whole day. Hey, you mean you have been going to the GRA office?
Effie, unye current, cra. Come and join us. So I'm not paying taxes, no.
Pay your taxes online, at the bank, or from your phone. Together, we can build a great nation. GRA.
Read the information on the gas cylinder to be informed of proper care. Always store gas cylinders upright on a stable platform with a valve on top. Keep cylinder installed at ground level. LPG cylinders should be handled with care. Do not roll or drag a gas cylinder on the floor. This can cause an explosion. Stored cylinders should be in a well-ventilated area and kept at a safe distance. Gas cylinders should be transported in an upright position and secured firmly. A message from the National Petroleum Authority.
Use it safely and petroleum gas. Use it safely and wisely.
Nana Kwame,
Yeah.
come and visit me.
Hey, Akosia, that's your house. I don't want to come there again. No. Grandma be what?
And that's for that my Fiera. Oluma with grey hair who like the nice young ones. Oh, you to come and let's do some salad.
Okay. I will bring some kelewele so we can chop once we enjoy our eyes.
Tilfiasem, enjoy real local drama on the new channel Akwaba Magic Ebusia on Go TV. This is your new home of local content and more. Chawiniso, Go TV, love it.
Who's ready to pray? Who's ready to really pray? Stand in the Gap 2022. 48 hours non-stop prayer is here, ready and boiling. Prophet Gideon Danso is sounding an urgent call to all prayer addicts, warriors, and worshippers across the globe to gather at the Prayer Factory Jowulu, Accra, Ghana. There's coming a deep roar of prayer and a fresh fall of fire. This you don't want to miss. On the front line with Prophet Gideon Danso are Reverend Ben Doku, Reverend Ampia Kofi, and of course, the prayer contrivance, Pastor John Hanna, USA. Worship will be lifted up with the sound of the trumpet by Pastor Nathaniel Bassi from Maverick City, Rhino Affair, and from this city, EWC Live. Date and time, Thursday, 23rd June, 6 p.m. kickoff, and we will pray non-stop through to Saturday, 25th of June, 6 p.m. Venue, the Prayer Factory, Jowulu, on the Obasanjo Road, next to the Allied Heights, Accra. For more info and live streaming, visit stand48.com. Stand in the Gap, 48 hours non-stop prayer. Refuse to leave the same. Empowerment Worship Center, where God lives.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town.
You're welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy. Thanks for staying with us. We've been talking to the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Akoto. He's been telling us all about the performance of the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative. It's your turn now to join the conversation. We would love to take your questions, but listen, we want to be able to take as many of them as possible before the minister has to leave us. So please get straight to the point, ask your question as quickly and simply and as straightforward in a manner as you can, and we'll get you an answer, okay? So, you know the numbers, 0302 216 541 or 055 1111 997. We already have Ben on the line from Adenta. Ben, how are you today?
Yeah, very good. How are you, Kojo?
Not bad. Good to hear from you.
Yes, straight to the point. The Agric Minister the other time said that a bunch of plantain, a whole bunch of not just one single one, of plantain was 3, 4, 5 cedis. The media went to the market and found that it was over 20 cedis, 30 cedis. He never apologized. I want to find out why. And will he apologize? And I'm demanding an apology from him because my taxes I used to pay him. The Ukraine-Russia war, that's my second question. Ukraine-Russia war actually started not long ago. Fertilizers were in short supply. He didn't answer the question. It was as a result of funds. Today, you can still buy things from Ukraine and Russia because some countries are trading with Russia. Why won't Ghana buy the fertilizers from Ukraine or Russia? Because you can still trade with them. They are trading. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Ben from Adenta. Let's go to Kumasi and talk to Morgan. Hi, Morgan. Good morning.
Hi, morning, Kojo, and hi to the minister in the studio. Please, I wanted to know, is it that nowadays in Ghana, anything that happens in the Western world, we put a blame on them or what? And also, the next question is that, does he go to the, is he always on ground to ascertain whether this is what is really going on? Was the prices and then the quotation he gave is far different from what I know on the field. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Nana Doma is in Jowolu. Hi, Nana. Good morning.
Hello.
Thanks for calling us, Nana Doma. What's your question?
Yeah, my question. First of all, I want to recommend the minister for doing a good work. And my question is that I have this coconut business that I want to start, and growing of coconut and extracting oil from it to export. So I wanted to find out if his ministry can be of help.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a great question. We'll ask for you, Nana Doma. Let's talk to Chidiak from South Labadi. Hi, Chidiak.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your question?
Fine. I wanted to know from the minister, during President Kumba Kufuor's time, petrol went as far as to $120, and we're still buying a ball of clinker for 50 pesos. Compared to today, what is the problem? Thank you. That we are now a net producer of fuel.
Okay. I understand your question, Chidiak. We'll get you an answer. One more. Wanda is in Accra. Hi, Wanda. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to your listeners. I've been listening to the minister, but I think that all the statistics he seems to be mentioning are not based in any factual, or real statistics for us to interrogate. For instance, how do you go to the market, open market, count bags of maize, and then you claim that it's as a result of the planting for food and jobs? I mean, we don't do statistics that way. Number two, he claims that they've spent 2.5 billion Ghana cedis on the planting for food and jobs. And yet, he sits in the studio and complains about road networks and all that. And we also know, by the statistics released by the Ghana Statistical Service, food basket alone in the inflation basket contributed to about 33% of inflation. And yet the minister says they have spent 2.5 billion, and that is actually burdening the economy now. And he says, before he even said that 50 billion worth of food on the market, dollars of food, now he says it's Ghana cedis. How do you relate this? You spend 2.5 billion of the taxpayers' money, and then we get an inflation, a shock of about 33%, and then you turn around to say that has given us 50 billion of worth of food on the market. It doesn't make, a lot of economic sense. And he needs to be up with his game, because he seems to be making a lot of assertions that are not based in any proper statistics. Then you say that if you go to Seshiri also, you can actually get plantain on the open market for free. I mean, you are the same person who made a comment some few months ago, and that turned out to be a lie. He needs to be serious with that. He needs to take the Ghanaian taxpayer serious. We have wasted a lot of money in that regard. National Food Buffer Stock Company is virtually dead, and then people are complaining all the time. The warehousing project they claimed they were going to do has not happened. So what is he talking about? He needs to take Ghanaians a little more serious. Thank you.
Thank you for calling us. Okay, I think we will take one more caller. This is Samuel in Atibubu. Hi, Samuel. Good morning.
Hello. So I'm very happy to join because I'm a farmer. I'm a graduate from K University, and I've been farming for the last 5 years after school. Okay, I'm so happy to talk to the minister for the first time, and I want him to understand that the people gathering data for him are lying to him. As an educated person farming, I want him to know that they are lying to the minister. They are totally lying to the minister. And let me start with planting for food and jobs. Okay, now this policy, we talk about it every time. We want to make sure farmers get their input at a subsidized price so that they can go on with their farming activity. But what happens? Farmers are not getting the fertilizer. Now we have influential people in the system. They are getting the fertilizer. They are getting the subsidized seed. As I speak to you now, a lot of farmers are reducing their acreage. We are heading towards a serious situation, but the minister doesn't see because they are lying to him with figures, and he doesn't know. And when you talk about it, he feels like you are, trying to, speak against his ministry. But this is the truth. The true farmers who are farming that need the support. And where is Youth in Agriculture program? Gossip was running a program whereby they give inputs to young farmers so that in the end they pay the inputs with their proceeds. What happens to the program? Ask the minister. Where is the Gossip program? What happened? These are influential people who came into the system. They were siphoning the fertilizers, taking the seeds. Why the youth and young people out there who want to farm do not get the support? Where is the support for youth to go into farming? There is nothing there. They lie to the minister and he believes it. And when he's coming for visitors, what they do is they cook figures for him because they know he's an economist and he needs figures to be impressed. I'm telling him the reality today. I'm Samuel. I farm in Akoto. I've been farming for the past 5 years. Trust me, there is nothing to encourage youth to go into farming. But we sit there and we talk so nice as if the ministry is doing so well. But we have influential people in there making the thing difficult for the youth, the young ones to come in. Who will go to school and not want to come and farm after getting experience, getting the entrepreneurial skills, and you think you can go into farming more as a business. But the support that is listed up there for farmers, for youth farmers, for young farmers, you won't find it. You won't find it. You go and meet a big man out there, he gets it and uses it for his own private business.
Samuel, thank you very much for calling us. Thanks to all of you who have called, actually. Ben, Morgan, Nana, Nana Duma, Chidiak, Wanda, and of course Samuel. Okay, so let's get some answers from the minister. Ben called first. He was asking whether you are going to apologize for a claim you made some time ago that a bunch of plantain was going for 3 to 5 Ghana cedis, and of course it was fact-checked and determined not to be the case. He also wants to know about the Ukraine war and the fact that people are still buying from Ukraine and Russia. So what stops us?
Well, first of all, this question about the price of a bunch was actually referring to 2019 and not the 2020 when I made that statement that prices had come down so low on the bunch of plantain at the time. I should have specified that it was for the previous year, 2019, which was a fact that prices of plantain were so low, even here in Accra, satellite markets. Secondly, on the shortage, if Ben is saying that...
Forgive me, just to wrap up on that first point. So is that sort of an apology or a clarification?
No,
what is
apology?
It exactly?
There's no need for an apology. I didn't offend anybody. I'm saying that statement I made was in reference to 2019 and not the 2020 when I was making, and I didn't specify that.
Right.
So that was where the problem was.
But were you seeking on that forum to say that prices are low?
Yeah,
as at the time you were speaking?
Basically, I was saying that prices of food stuffs are low compared
in
to the
2020.
previous years. Yes,
okay.
In 2019, 2018.
Right.
And if you go to the statistics, that's a fact that prices were low compared to now, to 2020.
So that's a clarification.
So that's a clarification that's needed.
Okay.
Now, if he has any source of supply in Ukraine that can come to Ghana, I'll be too happy to hear him. But he has to understand that the suppliers of fertilizer in Ghana are private companies, and they've been in this business for as long as you can imagine, including global companies like Yara, who are actually manufacturers in Europe and America. And if they say that they don't have enough fertilizer to supply to their local company, Yara Ghana Limited, who disbelieve them. And in any case, it's not just Ghanaian farmers who are experiencing this shortage. West African countries, everywhere, we are in the same position. America, United Kingdom, Europe, farmers are complaining. It's not just Ghanaian farmers. So if you can direct these companies to a source in Ukraine, I'll be very glad for Ghanaian farmers to have the MPK.
But it is true that ships and trains are leaving the Ukraine and Russia, but fewer.
I mean, no, there's a blockage. There's a blockage in the main Black Sea ports, which are the main sources of these things. In any case, what is coming out, even the European, is not even enough for the European, never mind having to bring it to Africa for us to use. So that's the reality of the situation.
All right, then there was the next caller who
Morgan in Kumasi.
whether this was Morgan in Kumasi. He wondered whether we are blaming the Western world for everything that goes wrong. He also wants to know whether you personally go to the ground to ascertain the veracity of the data that you are given by your team.
At the beginning of this conversation, I told you I'd been out in 5 regions for 8 days, and I came back Saturday night, not by myself, but with all the line directors of the ministry from headquarters here. And this I do every year. This is only the first leg. The second leg will come in a month's time when I go to Western region, Central region, Volta and OT. And the last leg will come with the northern sector, by which time their crop will be coming up. So we'll be able to have a realistic conversation on what is happening there.
Then there was a question about blaming the West for everything. So
no, we are not blaming anybody. It's just a reality on the ground. It's not a blame game at all. I mean, as I was saying, we have a new situation where there's acute shortage of fertilizers. Whatever is available is gone up 3 or 4 times. And we are looking at alternatives, which is the organic fertilizer. And I'm glad to say that farmers didn't need any persuasion. They are switching to that, and which is a very positive step.
Will we be able to make up the whole of the shortfall?
No. I mean, you see, the difference between inorganic and organic is to do with volumes. You need maybe 5 times more weight of organic fertilizer to make up for 1 ton of inorganic. That's the convenience of inorganic fertilizer. But I mean, we have a lot of planting material in Ghana, wastage of urban wastage and all those things which can be used for the purpose. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Nana Doma wanted to know whether your ministry can help her with her plans to start a coconut plantation.
Nana Duma is in Jowolo. I don't know whether there's any land in Jowolo. but if she has land, then of course she has to go to the Tree Crop Development Authority, where Honorable Kwetu is the managing director. Is one of the institutions that we have created to develop 6 selected crops, including coconut, and bring them to the level of cocoa, so we can earn as much from coconut in the next 7, 8, 10 years, as much as we are earning from cocoa. Cocoa is bringing us about $2 billion as we speak a year, and the target is that with Nana Doma and Co, we should be able to export coconut and coconut products to the value of $2 billion in the next 8-10 years. That's how ambitious the program is. In addition to the other crops, oil palm, rubber, mango, cashew, shea, and what else? There are 66 crops that.
Where is the Tree Crop Development Authority?
It's based in Kumasi. It was created last 2020. The authority was launched by President Akufo-Addo in Kumasi in September 2020, and is running now.
Right now, it's quite a journey for Nana Duma. So, would you have one of your team perhaps call ahead and book an appointment for her?
We will do that. If I get Nana Duma's telephone number, I'll be too glad to introduce her to Honorable Kwetu, who is the managing director of the company.
Wonderful. Radio gets results. Okay, Chidiak. Now, he had an interesting question. He said that under former President Kufuor, fuel prices went very high up. We got to the point of $120 per barrel, but we could still buy kinky. So what's different today?
I thought I saw kinky at the Braka on my way here. So there's still kinky around.
You could buy kinky at 50 pesos.
Yes, he could buy it at 50 pesos. Yes.
And now
today is 3 cedis 50 pesos.
Yeah, so
for a smaller ball.
Yeah, so he hopes that we'll go back to the Kufuor days.
Well, we all do.
He's a real optimist. I mean, it's not going to happen that way given the world situation now. Of course, with inflation and everything, you don't expect that you'll get the same price as you did 15 years ago. I mean, the inflation, the exchange rate, and all those things mean that we are on a different platform now. And really to expect that you pay the same price as you did 15 years ago is unrealistic.
But this food inflation that you're saying is not due to supply, and it's due to, other failings, whether it's bad roads or fuel and so forth. I mean, can we really trace this level of inflation to factors like transport, cost of transport.
But that's it. I mean, if the road leading to the producing area is bad, it means that the cost of transport will be higher. They will need to have that kind of revenue to maintain their vehicles going to these places. So it's all factored into that. But I suspect that this time round there's an element of oligopoly or something, where market queens and so on. Because how can you, from Techimentia, the price goes up 4 times in Kumasi? It's amazing. Yeah. And Tuabodom were in Bono East last week. I think it was Wednesday. Tuabodom, you go to Tuabodom now, tomato is getting rotten, and a whole basket of tomato, 15 cedis. You come to Kumasi, only 5 units of tomato, you pay 10 cedis. So there's something amiss.
Yeah. Wanda is in Accra, and he says that how can you count bags of maize in the market and know that they are all as a result of planting for food and jobs? He also wants to know how you can spend 2.5 billion Ghana cedis on planting for food and jobs, and then say that because of roads and transport, inflation, which is up at about 33%, I think food inflation is what he's referring to. Yet, in spite of spending 5 billion, in spite of food inflation, you still made 50 billion Ghana cedis for farmers. I think he's struggling with the calculation there.
Yeah, I think that it needs clarification. The thing is that is the value of what has been produced as a result of the fertilizer and improved seed that we've given to farmers. Very simple. You know, you give these to farmers to plant, to maintain, to harvest. And what is the worth of that product? That is what you have to quantify in terms of the weight and then the price. So we come to these figures that we've given.
Also, he doesn't believe your claim that in Afriyie also people are giving away plantain for free.
I didn't say that. I said that you could go to the roadside and find plantain sitting there which has not been bought, and therefore, you know, people literally at the end of the day they give it away. It happens in Accra here, where at the end of the day the stock which is there, the farmers, the traders cannot take it back to their homes, so they give it at giveaway prices. That's what I meant by that.
Right. Okay. I think that's a clarification, because originally it sounded like you said by the roadsides in Afriyie also they are giving away free plantain. Samuel in Atebubu is a KNUST graduate and a farmer, and he says that your data gatherers are lying to you. He says that farmers are not getting the fertilizer and feed as you are being told. He says they are actually reducing their acreage. So it throws into question perhaps all the numbers that we've seen come out of planting for food and jobs. He says, as a farmer, that acreage is reducing. He also asks what happened to Youth in Agriculture program. And yeah, he's just worried that people are cooking figures for you.
I can assure him, Mr. Samuel of Atebubu, we don't cook figures at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. We encourage farmers to produce. If your experience is telling you that you're not getting enough support as youth, then you have to contact your district director of agriculture, and I'm sure he will be very, very happy to give you all the assistance.
But final question that I have here from the Chamber of Fertilizer Ghana. Now, they say they are owed some 400 million cedis by the government for supplying fertilizer to farmers. And according to them, they're expecting a payment plan, hopefully to be captured in the mid-year budget scheduled for next month. Will that happen?
Well, this is the job of the Ministry of Finance. See, we are not, we don't deal with outstanding payments. For me to make a comment on that, and maybe the Ministry of Finance should be able to. I know there's some outstanding payments from last year and even 2 years ago, 2020. But the thing is, it's Ministry of Finance to decide on these payments. So I cannot comment on this mid-year budget, what will be in there or not. We have made it very clear with all this information, documentation to the Ministry of Finance. It's up to them to take it up.
Okay.
Right.
To wrap up, I suppose your final thoughts on the other 4 modules of this program. How well are we doing in mechanizing agriculture in Ghana, for example?
As we speak, we have received a bunch of farm machinery from Brazil under the Brazil More Food Program, and we are busily engaging farmers, farmer groups, commercial farmers, and all of that. We put it in the newspapers, the type of machinery, asking them to apply to me as the minister for the sale of these equipment. The Akufo-Addo government is so supportive of agriculture to the extent that we decided we will give a subsidy of 40% for agricultural machinery to encourage the application of machinery to agriculture. So it's ongoing. In the pipeline is the $150 million Exim Bank of India facility, also to purchase these farm machinery and also agro-processing machines for juicing oranges, for palm oil, manufacturing soya and all those things. So that's in the pipeline. Hopefully by a year from now, these machinery should also be coming to supplement the stocks that we have in this country in order to improve agricultural productivity, which has been the aim of this government for both commercial and smallholder agriculture. Finally, last week, you may have seen the signing ceremony between the Minister of Finance and the representative of the Exim Bank of India for the installation of an assembly plant in the Owusu and Ashanti region for the assembly of tractors for the first time in this country. So we are making all the efforts to ensure that mechanization on our farms and on the value chain consolidated as part of the program that we are doing.
Sorry, because you mentioned it, I mean, does it bother you a little when you have to borrow as little as 25 or so million externally, when your project is a flagship project of the president? And,
I think that you have to be fair to us. I mean, okay? I mean, for the first time, we're having an assembly plant. That's a step in the right direction. And I think that it's important that we don't get these machinery, go and borrow money, bring machinery in, rather than doing it. And it's also going to open opportunities for the Swami magazine people and the Kokompe people, because they will be subcontracting some of the basic implements to them. So it's good news, and we are on the right track.
Dr. Owusu Akoto has been our guest all morning as we've discussed the flagship program of government, planting for food and jobs. We're very grateful to him for his time with us. Hopefully it won't be long before he returns. And thank you for all your calls and your questions and your tweets. We'll share a few more of those after these.
In your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.